Na kuambia ile siasa inaendelea Kenya ni siasa ya kupatia mtu kizunguzungu. And if at the moment you feel dizzy and confused, and completely flawed with what is happening in Kenyan politics, that is normal. Because most Kenyans are feeling exactly and precisely like that. Sample the following. The ODM party, Orange Democratic Movement, which was the key party in the NASA coalition that went into the 2017 general elections, decides to kick out Deputy Senate Minority Leader Cleophas Malala. And then something super puzzling happens. This move is fully backed by senators allied to Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And some of their remarks in support of Raila Odinga, oh yes, you heard me correctly, and ODM, you know, most politicians allied to the deputy president seem to have been trained by the deputy president on how to speak, because they speak the same as their boss. Very biting, hurting remarks that pull no punches. These politicians are not polite the way Senator Orengo, for instance, does. No. Sample this tweet by Senator Aaron Cheriot, who is of course the senator from Kericho. To be fair to ODM, they were magnanimous in giving leadership positions to the other member parties of NASA. Now here is the real bombshell. Now that the Cerelak coalition seems to have agreed to take on ODM and insult them, isn't it fair that ODM flexes its muscles? Ati what? Cerelak coalition? Hiyo ilitoka wapi? For those still in the dark, Cerelak is powdered baby food. Food for toddlers. Food for kids who are 0 years old. As one of my children likes to put it. Yani wajafikisha hata mwaka moja. And Senator Cheriot was of course referring to the coalition of Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Weta, or Moses Wetangula. Now. Hold on a minute. Is the DP Ruto camp now, slowly aligning with the ODM party and Raila Odinga? Folks, that seems to be the case. But I'll come back to that in a subsequent video. For now, let us just say that DP Ruto's camp will support anybody who is against the president and what he's trying to do. And that is normal in politics worldwide. Alignments will form around issues. Let us be very honest. All this is very confusing because we know that the handshake is very much alive and well. We know that the BBI is still very much on course. Indeed, the coalition that Senator Cheriot calls the Cerelak coalition of Musalia Mudavadi, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and Ford Kenya leader Moses Wetangula, was initiated by President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the whole idea was to step up campaigns for the BBI. And of course, the next question is, why wasn't this coalition formed by Raila Odinga, instead of President Uhuru Kenyatta? Because after all, Raila Odinga went into the 2017 elections with these three individuals and their parties. Well, those who have been following the news know that NASA is in serious trouble. Because the other NASA partners, the three, started firing barbs at ODM, the major party in NASA, and Raila Odinga. Indeed, they even started saying that Raila Odinga should step aside in the 2022 general elections and support one of the three for the presidency. And of course, Raila Odinga responded by saying he was not going to do anything like that. Why? Because when he was being sworn in at Uhuru Park, the three, Wetangula, Mudavadi, and Kalonzo, were scared and they hid somewhere, terrified. And then Kalonzo Musyoka responded by saying he was not going to get involved in anything against the law, because he's a senior counsel. His is to uphold the law, not do funny illegal things, like swearing in a president who has not been declared winner by the IEBC, Independent Elections and Boundary Commission, Chebukati's baby. And so on paper, it seems only logical that the president would use his position of authority and influence to approach the three to form a coalition of sorts in support of the BBI, to organize the campaigns of the BBI leading up to the upcoming referendum. Notice I said on paper, because usually politicians are always up to something. What is really happening behind the scenes is what should concern us, and it's what we should look at. I agree with all the analysts who say that actually what is going on here is an attempt to clip the wings of Raila Odinga, to reduce his influence. Because the reality, the truth, is that Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and Kalonzo Musyoka are tribal kingpins. That is the truth. I can hear somebody asking me, what about Raila? Let's stick to political reality and the truth. Raila gets a lot of support, fanatical support, from Luo Nyanza. He also has sizable fanatical support from the Luhia nation, represented by Musalia Mudavadi, mainly the Maragoli people, and Moses Wetangula, the largest Luhia sub-community, known as the Bukusu. Raila also has huge support from the coast region. Raila also has his large chunk of supporters who will never change their minds from the Maasai people, the Ma community. So it is okay with me if you still want to insist that Raila Odinga is a tribal kingpin. But I've given you the truth, the political reality. Anyway, clearly the idea here is to develop some tribal animosity against Raila Odinga, which will chip away at his support, in Luhya land, and also completely destroy any support he enjoyed previously from the Kamba nation. That's the whole idea. But here is the super interesting fact. This particular development of this new coalition, I don't call them the Cerelak coalition, has its clear target as the Luhia nation. Let me explain. The whole idea is to completely wipe out all the support Raila enjoys within the Luhia community. In 2013, the main community, the key community in deciding the winner of that election were the Luhia. And both sides of the political divide spent a lot of time within the Luhia nation campaigning. In 2017, it was the same. You see, there are those who believe that the community in Kenya now that has the largest numbers is in fact the Luhia. Okay, let us assume you don't believe that. Yeah, but I do. Yeah, but let's assume you don't. The Kikuyu community, House of Mumbi, has issues when it comes to an election. They have significant numbers countrywide, that is true. But the issue, the problem in every election is getting them to the voting booth. We saw this very clearly in the repeat election, presidential election, in October 2017. And so you can imagine what kind of numbers amongst the House of Mumbi will actually turn up and vote when all the major presidential candidates are not from their community. And of course, we all know that most probably this is what we'll be faced with in 2022. So the voter turnout in this particular community will be extremely low. And that is easily predictable. And therefore, it will all come down to the Luhia, to the Mulembe nation. And therefore, it's logical that if you want to shut out a presidential candidate from getting anywhere near victory in 2022, you will need to work vigorously amongst the Mulembe nation to ensure that their votes will not go in the direction of a political opponent. Folks, Kalonzo Musyoka in the coalition is just a smokescreen, to confuse you so that you don't know what is really going on. And what is going down here is trying to turn the Luhia community. That's really what it is. And naturally, those who have hatched this plot are very happy and delighted at the latest development, where Malala has been kicked out of his position as Senate Deputy Minority Leader. By the way, ODM have replaced him with the Kilifi Senator, Stewart Madzayo. Now it is very easy to sell the narrative on the ground. Raila ametoa mtu wetu. Raila apendi Waluhya. Kama kweli angekuwa akipenda Waluhya, angetoa mtu wetu, alafu anaweka mtu mwingine kutoka Mombasa hata hajulikani. That is how this game is played. So, knowing all this, why did Raila Odinga, who's very experienced in politics, and ODM fall for the bait? They should have just left Malala alone. Why insist on removing him? They must have made a terrible blunder, which will reduce the support of the Luhya community towards ODM and Raila Odinga considerably. Actually, I believe there's something much deeper here, than just ODM flexing its muscles. I have reason to believe, that it all has to do with removing Malala from the high table where all the conspiracy is being hatched by ODM against their political rivals. Senator Malala was the the person leaking information to the other side, and therefore there was no option but to remove him as soon as possible. You see, as Senate Deputy Minority Leader, he's usually with Orengo, the Minority Leader, when they're taking instructions on what to do next. Which means, as long as he held that position, Malala was for all intents and purposes an insider. And a situation developed where this insider started having his own very strong political agenda, different from that of the ODM party. And therefore, ODM really had no options here. He just had to go, pure and simple. My thinking is that the ODM party have already done their calculations, and they know how they're going to manage the resulting political fallout of removing Malala. I will give you just one example based on the latest information I've received on what is really going on the ground. Amongst the Bukusu community, led by Moses Wetangula, the truth is, voters on the ground are fed up of Moses Wetangula. The de facto tribal kingpin is in fact a man called Waluke, previously in the military, who is in DP Ruto's camp. Let me tell you one thing about this community, where my late mother hailed from, the Bukusu. The community hates, loathes cowards. And so, during future campaigns in the region, all an ODM candidate has to do is to remind the voters of the events of January 2018 and Raila Odinga swearing in, the swearing in of the people's president. And then they just need to pose a simple question. Where was Moses Wetangula when Raila Odinga was being sworn in at Uhuru Park? Where was he? That would be enough to turn the voters in any direction a person wants, in any direction other than that of Weta. It is as simple as that. Admittedly, when it comes to the Maragoli and Musalia Mudavadi, a different strategy will have to be employed, because the Maragoli are more laid back. They have always been firm supporters of those in authority. That is in their DNA, and that is their nature. And if you don't believe me, do a little research and find out where most Maragolis are employed and where they tend to thrive. You will quickly discover that they climb the ranks because of their ability to be loyal and respectful to the authority. For instance, their authority in an employment situation, they end up being trusted much more than other communities, and therefore given more responsibility than other communities. Maybe the area where they need to step up is their ability in negotiations, ability to negotiate for a larger salary and perks in employment. Folks, that is my view. You're free to disagree, but disagree and give me evidence where you're disagreeing. Don't just say I don't agree. Why don't you agree? Tell us. And I'll welcome you a lot to do that. As you know, on this channel, that has always been our tradition. We very much welcome and I personally welcome views that are contrary to mine. But it would help a lot if you give us some meat in your argument. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, remember to give me a like. And if you're not yet subscribed, please do so today. So that you ensure that you receive every notification of every video I produce. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.